Hi everyone, I'm Alan and welcome back to the Rawlo report. In today's video, guys, we need to have a conversation about the UK's national debt, right? It's a pretty serious one. So I'm going to throw out some numbers and then we're going to discuss some issues around these numbers. So if you don't know already, the UK national debt stands at a whopping £3.2 trillion. Yes, trillion pounds. It's equivalent to the £52,000 for every single citizen. That's man, woman and child. It's the equivalent of £89,000 for every single taxpayer. The UK debt is currently going up over £5,000 every second. And it's gone up by more than a trillion in 4 years. That's where we stand. Now, these are some pretty hefty numbers that I'm throwing out at you here. So we need to talk about this because it's gone exponential, this debt. And I think we're at the point now, if you look at it seriously, there is no way we can pay this back. Under what circumstances can we pay this back? If you think, this will be a little attack on Labour, but it's also all governments, and including the Tory party, all the rest of them, right? They've always added to the debt. Next to nobody has chiselled away at the debt. So we're always consistently adding and adding and adding for adding that debt. And then on top of that, that means our interest payments, so not even to get the debt down, but just the interest payments to maintain that debt, just to stop us going bankrupt, get higher and higher and higher the more that we loan. Now, it's not rocket science. Obviously, a nation is a little bit bigger than a person on their own, but it's the same principle. If I continue to take on debt, and eventually those increments go up past the point of the amount that I earn, I'm in deep trouble. I cannot, after a while, pay those service payments, let alone chip away at the debt, and I'm broke. I have to declare bankruptcy. And the UK government's a lot like that at the minute. Our debt to GDP is like round about 95-96%, so it's almost 100% of our entire GDP, how much debt we owe. On top of that, we're all kind of aware that the bond market and the price on the debt that's getting rolled over is high again in the UK. So that means the general market and other countries don't really have much faith that the UK is going to pay that debt back. And as a result, they've caused the interest rates on our debt to spike, which means we have to make larger payments on the national debt just to break even, just to service it. And this means there's less money to spend on the public sector, on the NHS, on infrastructure, on you or me, or just on general life. So as a result of that, we're in kind of this absolute horrendous debt spiral. And especially under Labour. Labour, to me, are one of the worst parties in Britain. They're extremely left-wing and socialist. Their idea is, let's just create a load of money. Let's just tax everybody to the hilt, and then we'll redistribute everybody's money, and that'll be fair. And nobody's ever happy under Labour. They always end up miserable. This country at the minute is currently really miserable under this Labour government. So like I say, they don't seem to have any strategy. They just keep taxing, which would be bad enough if they're squeezing every little bit of juice out of your pocket and every little bit of money. And then they're going to pay that debt down. And, there could be an understanding if you're building towards a better future and you're going to leave the nation a much better place for your kids or your grandkids. There's kind of something, a bit decent about that. But that's not what we're doing. Labour are increasing our taxes and lowering our services just to make this national debt even bigger and blow up and balloon up. This is so unsustainable. In fact, this is so serious. I don't think that this Labour government are going to last the rest of their, 3.5-year term. I think that they're so poorly ran by Keir Starmer. You watch, mark my words, stick a note in this, stick a pin in this video. I'm going to stand by this prediction. I'll be amazed if this government see through their term. I think they will create a financial crisis in this country that is going to be so large, and then they'll do kind of what happened in the last government where they had to step away. Do you remember the humiliation ritual where David Cameron had to take over? And he was a clown as well, but you get the idea. I think something similar is going to happen where this joker, this traitor, Keir Starmer, snaps our government and creates such a financial mess that it's literally just the government collapses overnight. Maybe the bond market blows up, the national debt blows up, something happens, maybe we have to go begging to the IMF, but you can feel it in the air. There's the UK at the minute, there's a feeling in the air of just unease. Everybody's really deeply unhappy in the UK. And when you speak to people, it's just there if you scratch below the surface. There's a lot of tension in the air. And it comes from this clown. Well, part of it does. He can't take responsibility for it all. Labour have just been one of the leaders of racking up debt and one of the leaders of the most useless parties that Britain has. But they've all played their role. There is very little seriousness in political parties at the minute. Like, they all pretty much just want to borrow more money. It's just that some are going to do it at a faster rate than others. And it's kind of hard to see UK getting out of this debt spiral that we're in. So I just wanted to go over those numbers today, guys. They're so important and so serious. You know, 3.2 trillion, and it's gone up 1 trillion just in 4 years. This level of debt is so unsustainable. Now, I'm also going to point out as well, this isn't just the UK that's in this mess. Other Western nations have also fallen down this trap of promising the world to the voters, because it gets easy wins. People vote that they're their team in charge, and then they just spend, and we pretend that this debt's not really racking up or it's not doing anything, and it's not going to cause any problems. And we're at that point now of, like, I'd say peak saturation. There's not much road left in this game. You know, there's not much more they can print and lie about and do it without it crumbling. We're close to the end game now, I feel, and I think that's going to happen in, say, 1 to 3 years. There's going to be some type of debt malfunction. There's already been some problems with small regional banks in America, and I've heard whispers and rumours that, you know, this could be kind of another sort of 2008 financial style crash where, you know, certain bad loans go bust again. We might be going through another big issue. So we need to get serious in this country. Watching the UK die is pretty scary, especially because I feel that there's next to nobody else of the public who actually talk about politics, the financial world, what's really going on. People will talk to you about football, they'll talk to you about the weather, they'll talk to you about any old crap that's been on TV, but what they won't do is have serious discussions about politics. It's almost seen as not polite chat. Nobody wants to talk about it, and I find that just so weird, because we're sat at a time where we're in probably one of the worst positions we've ever been. It's not even like we're going through a war. That can only, like, that's the only other times throughout history that we've had such high debt. And obviously that's explainable because you're in the middle of a massive war. You need to pay for, you know, missiles and tanks and personnel and X, Y, and Z. So you need to take out massive loans to manufacture all this stuff. We're not even at wartime, and we're still struggling. Things are still bad. We've hit the peak saturation point of where Western governments can take this. It's probably why they're inundating us all with massive immigration, probably to destroy the system faster, because then obviously if you're fighting and arguing amongst all yourselves, you're not really looking at the problem, and the problem always leads back to central bankers. Central bankers have the ability to print money that's backed by nothing and then circulate it in the economy how they see fit. And as we have a debt-based economy, it just means they issue loans all the time. That's all they're about. They're about getting you or me into debt. Now, in the old world, the old Christian world, they wouldn't allow debt or usury, you know, the process of me owning interest to somebody for something that they haven't done. They've not done anything that benefits me. They've given me a sum and I have to pay them back with my hard-earned labour in the form of currency, which is basically slavery. That's the whole point in it. It's slavery by a fancy other name. And our society now and our system is built around it. We need somebody in the West with massive, gigantic balls who's going to change the system. We don't just need it tweaking and things like that. We need the system overhauling. That's where we're at in the West at the minute. It's really bad times, guys. So I wanted to report on that in today's video. I think we're in a kind of a crisis. Well, there's no other way to describe it. We're watching the country in a slow motion train wreck, just being derailed. And I'm sorry to go down that path and take it that serious, but that's kind of where we are in the UK. So yeah, guys, I will leave it with you there. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think that at this point, is the UK even salvageable? I might even make a video on, is the UK even salvageable from a moral standing point, from an immigration standing point, from every standing point, from an economic standpoint. But yeah, if you can, guys, stick a comment below in the video. Don't forget by now to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you as always for watching.